Here we are. Well, welcome to Gen Zoomers Real Talk on just about anything. I'm Sharon.
And I'm Julie.
And Julie's a Gen Xer and I'm a Boomer, and we're best friends. We started this idea. This is our second episode, I should say. And last week we had our premiere. Woo! And basically it was an introduction to us and how this idea was born. It was born out of a crisis. And our goal is to foster connections with women on subjects that we're interested in. And we hope that it will resonate with you.
Real talk right here.
Real talk right here. We want to create a space of diverse women voices. So, you know, sometimes you'll have to put up with Julie and I, but we hope to always have, as much as possible, a guest on the show, someone who's an authority on the particular subject. And this is really more about women. It's women-centric. It's women. We are women. As we are moving into this, whatever you want to call it, this growth period in our lives,
Chapters.
this empowerment period in our lives, we want to talk about some of those subjects. So this week, we are going to talk about aging into yourself. That's a very broad category, but more specifically, it's going to be on the subject of hair. But before hair, here we go. Hair going silver, hair that hasn't been cut
today, but that will be for later.
So, but before we get started on that, we thought every week we would repeat a segment called "What Did You Learn This Week?" And so, Julie, what did you learn this week?
Well, I'm so excited about this, and this might be very silly, but it's very important to me because I am still at home. Where I live, we have not been released. We are not in phase 1 yet. So during COVID, I have become a beginner gardener. That really is, I'm putting it mildly. But I found arugula, which is a wasabi arugula that is fantastic, that I have been growing, and arugula is very easy to grow. But I made pesto. I made arugula wasabi pesto.
Yum.
And it is fantastic. And I can even put the recipe up. It's not my recipe. I followed someone else, and not that pesto is very difficult to make. But it's, you know, if you eat meat, you can put it on chicken and other things, tofu, pizza, salads. So I'm thrilled. I feel like a gourmet chef.
So, nothing like fresh garden vegetables and fruit. So what are you growing?
The color is so beautiful, and just put it on pasta. You can just put it.
What are you growing?
Well,
what other things are you growing?
The last of the radishes. I also made a radish pesto, which is the tops of radish.
Wow, that sounds good.
Radishes and in the freezer. Corn and peas and lettuce, salads every day. So it's been quite lovely. In fact, I don't know that I'm going to appreciate buying from a grocery store when I have to.
It won't ever taste the way it tastes out of your garden.
No, it's been
a long time. Are you growing fruit? Are you growing strawberries?
And strawberries,
okay.
Yeah. And I gave the last of the strawberries I picked today and sent over for a friend. So we don't have too many strawberries left.
And Julie took some great photos of her garden, the fruits of her garden, and she's going to post them on her Instagram page.
It's nice to put yourself out there in a way you haven't. I mean, the way the past few, or not even the past few years, but I didn't really care about gardening so much. And my family has always had an appreciation for it. And I appreciate good food and fresh food and healthy things that are healthy. But
it always tastes better out of your garden. It always tastes better.
I'm very proud, and I'll be out there even in the evening making sure there's no bugs. So it's
There's
become a
kind
little excessive.
oh, that's all right. Do you guys spray?
No, no, no
That's
spraying. We've got a lot of ladybugs and
oh,
organic
that's good luck. That's
oh,
good
well,
luck.
I can use some luck, so that's always good.
It's coming your way. It's coming your way. Oh, but before I get started, we need to cheer because this is our happy hour, even though it's not happy hour.
Okay, what are you drinking? Cheers.
Cheers. Mm.
Mm,
This is a Moscow Mule
so
from,
pretty.
I think it's called Half Baked Harvest.
Okay.
Anyway, what's in this is vodka, ginger beer, topped off with bubbly, and then you meddle the blackberries and the mint together. Then you throw in the vodka, you mix it up, and voila. So
Okay, so another recipe. So now we are becoming.
yes. Oh, we're going to be a Food Network. No.
We should put both links up. Okay.
Okay.
So,
I'm very interested in art. I'm learning. I've been interested in a long time, but I've taken art lessons and then I've gone away for 10 years. And now as of last year, I've gotten very focused in it. The art teacher I'm crushing on at the moment, I've been taking lessons from him for over a year. It's not private lessons, but online. But it feels private. He's been posting, and recently on Facebook, this week he posted an artist, a female artist. Her name is Artemisia Geneliski, and she is from the Baroque period. She is considered in some art circles as sort of the Me Too heroine of her time, because at the age of 17, her father, well, at the time, her father wanted to send her to a nunnery. I mean, that's the fate of most women then. She hounded him enough that he finally acquiesced and he said, okay, we'll tutor you. So his good friend, Agostino Tassi, he hired him. Well, he raped her. And she was only 17. This particular piece that's very well known, it's iconic, beautiful piece, but it's very violent.
oh, yes.
This is called Judith slaying Holofernes. Some art historians consider it a self-portrait.
Wow.
It was the result of acting out her revenge over Agostino Tassi, who had raped her. This woman is actually beheading this soldier who has dishonored her. The recent broader view apparently is a portrayal of stronger women. Judith was an Israelite and she's assassinating an Assyrian general.
Does she have her work? Is it being shown?
Oh, her work's all over the world. She spans 40 years. She's got quite a portfolio of work. The second piece I thought just be fun to show you. Okay, here we are.
Oh, look at that.
So there's Cleopatra, and she's holding a snake, which I find very erotic. That's the other thing that I had read about. Baroque art is dramatic and erotic. She painted a lot of nudes. Well, I love nudes. I think they're amazing.
Which is a lot of work that you're doing right now.
Yes, I love to paint women, and I love to paint them nude. Although this one I'm working on, she has a bathing suit on.
Provocative.
Yeah. In fact, this is what they said, just to end this. It said most of her figures were heroic women.
How old was she when most of her work was done?
She started painting at 17. So that first piece I showed you was 17 years of age. Well, I want to talk about hair as for those women that are contemplating, especially as we've been sheltered in the entire world, going gray, going silver. This is the result of, this isn't the result of COVID. This is 2 years and 6 months of grow out. And when I started, and I still remember the day, December 29th, Montana. I was in Bozeman, Montana. And I had my stylist there, who I absolutely adore, Katie Monalgo.
Shout out to Katie.
She rocks. Anyway, I finally told her I'm tired of coloring. I've been coloring since 26, and in fact, it was 26 that I first noticed silver sparkles. I thought, 26? Are you kidding me? I'm 26. I'm going gray. Yikes. So I've been coloring from 26, and I've run the gamut on color. Everything from, you know what? I've never had my hair pulled through a cap. I've never done that, but it's always been foils or balayages or perms. I mean, I love to experiment with the hair. And I colored from 26 to 60. At 60, I said, I'm done. I'm finished. I no longer want to color. I want to just let it happen. So Katie helped me.
What made that change? I mean, you were very convicted in that change.
I just got very comfortable with who I was. It's funny, at one point, friends of mine, who mutual friends, you know them, we were all in getting a pedi, and I still remember having the conversation. I said, oh, I don't want to go silver yet. Oh, why not? I'll go silver when I arrive. Well, let me let you in a little secret. What I was thinking arrive is not the way I arrived at this. I did in some ways. I became silver arriving at a comfort level that I felt like it didn't matter anymore to me. I just wanted wanted to embrace my natural self. I was really tired of going, the longer you go to the older you are, the shorter the time frame between colors. And I have a question. Since we're in the industry that's very fixated on youth advertising, and we are surrounded by young, and do we feel that extra layer of pressure? Do we feel that added pressure as opposed to other women that are not in this industry? Or do you think all women feel this burden, this pressure from the youth-centric culture that we live in?
Well, I mean, I can only speak for our business, and we are in the same business. And I definitely feel that pressure. And other women that I talk with, that we're friends with, feel the pressure, that are even younger than us, than both of us, feel like it is such a youthful, in film production, in advertising. It would be wonderful to see that change. And I think we want to be part of that change.
We hope to have women on that are actually unapologetically promoting it.
So if you decide to do something with your hair, you decide to let it go silver, I still believe it is your decision what you're comfortable with. But if you really want to do that, we need to support that.
Oh, yes. I, in fact, recently have been involved in a group on Facebook called the Silver Revolution, which was through a mutual friend who I hope we can have on, Stephanie. Mm-hmm. Her best friend started this group. It's about 15,000 women. And it is everyone who is from, I'll say, I don't know how young it goes, but it definitely is 35 all the way up. And these women are going through a transition, and it's really, it's inspiring. It's very inspiring. Some can't handle it. Some are like, it feels like I've never been a part of a support group, but it is somewhat of a support group, because there are women that will confess that they are feeling a little tentative about doing it. They don't like the results. A lot of them will go cold turkey and just chop it all off. I wasn't willing to do that. I'm still in grow out. I still like all the colors.
But what's interesting about this group, Sharon, it would be interesting to hear from this group. Has it affected their work, their job? Has it affected dating? if some of them are single, because they're, you said that they range anywhere from 30 on up. I'd be really curious because they're from, different backgrounds.
Well, I've actually read two stories. One, that a husband doesn't support the transition. And she was asking other women, how did they feel about that? Because she really wanted to make the transition, but her husband wants her to continue to color her hair. I responded with, well, it's not you. There's something wrong with your husband. I didn't say wrong, but I said, it sounds like your husband is preoccupied with appearance.
Yeah.
And maybe he's feeling his own age as you are going through it. You're visually showing it, and he doesn't want to be reminded of it. Who knows? But
Yeah.
anyway, I said,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and also there was another woman, you talk about feedback, went into, as she called it, her hairdresser. In the West, we don't usually call them hairdressers, we call them stylists. But I got the sense it was from the South. And she said that her hairdresser said, as soon as she walked in after she was released from COVID, he says, oh my God, you look like a hag. You look like an old hag. Really? I would do an about face and leave.
Walk out the door.
Yeah. I told her it's time for an upgrade. You need a different stylist.
I mean, because we all have these part of aging, and it doesn't matter if you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, 80, 90, whatever that number is, we all have these workarounds. And those workarounds can be color. Those workarounds can be going silver. And then, maybe your hair's thinning, but you decide you don't want to keep processing and doing all these things. So you're going to go with your natural. I mean, and I think that's just, we have to be able to talk about it, and we have to be able to be accepting and say it's okay, but it is also having that discussion.
I think there was one woman that talked about her boss, and he says, well, you're not gonna let your hair go, are you? Really?
Or you would look so much better if you just colored your hair.
Yeah. You look so much younger. What I have found with women that are turning silver after they've shown their before and afters, their face shows up. Their beautiful face shows up. And it's not their hair that arrives. Their face tends to recede. And when I look back, even in my 50s, and look at the colors, I'm thinking, oh, I so much prefer this color than I like those colors. They were beautiful colors, but you reach a point where it isn't serving you anymore.
No, I feel like for me, what's happened, because I'm definitely sorry, I'm having a little bit of
she's having a hot flash, ladies. She's having a hot flash. That's okay.
Yeah,
I don't have those anymore.
Also, I think for me, what's changed, what I've noticed, is it's hard to get the color right that I want, because I don't, I have blonde in my hair. I don't have a lot of gray yet. I have little strands coming, a little bit here, not much gray yet. But my hair, it's fragile. And I want to be able to take really good care of it, because I am noticing a little bit of hair loss. And so to keep processing, it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But I feel like I do need to have something that highlights my face a little bit, because and I can tell right now it's so much darker because I haven't had anything done. How long has it been? March, April, May, June, like 5 months?
Well, tomorrow I get a cut. I am going in for my first cut since February, because that was the last time, and then we got into lockdown. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, which
It's
I was
like,
supposed to have a cut today, but we weren't released. So,
yeah, another week.
but the color's tricky. It's tricky to get the
Yes, it
color right
is.
because you think about all those years that you changed and you tried something lighter, you tried something darker, then something looked streaked. And so it's complicated.
It
It's
is
exhausting.
tricky. I think it's very important to find a very good colorist. You're absolutely right. I've had
Someone
some
that
color horror
understands
stories.
older hair.
That is true too. Yeah, it's dealing with older hair. One of the things I did want to say about going silver is that I feel completely liberated by it. I am,
That's the key.
before, when I was in my 40s and early 50s, there would be, I knew I would have to get to, my roots were starting to show. I'd have to get to the stylist. I tried to space it out every 6 weeks, but it was becoming every 4. But one of the things I noticed about when my roots were coming in, that if I was talking to a client or a colleague, all of a sudden, and mostly males, not females, but mostly males, their eyes would drift up to my roots. And I would be standing
Not your
there
boobs.
and
Your
I'd want to,
roots.
no, they were going to my roots. No, they went to my boobs in much younger years, not as much. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm right here. I don't have that. And I mean, I arrive in this and I make eye contact. There's just more connection now.
Do you take care of it differently now? Do you feel like it's healthier now?
Down here, the water is really hard. So like today it's pretty good. And I started taking biotin, but since I've been on biotin, which is about, I don't know, I'm in 6 weeks, I can tell it feels healthier.
The biotin has helped me as well because it was thinning and I feel like some places in my hairline are growing back now and it feels stronger. Also with being home, I don't really use a lot of styling products
I don't
or
either now.
on my
I don't.
hair. I let it dry natural. I
Yes.
braid. I do different things, so it's pretty rare. And I think that has helped. But I think the biotin is I'm not. We're not doctors. We do not have a background in medical, but I do feel that has made a difference.
Yeah, no, we're not doctors. And I do. You go look. Thankfully, we're not doctors. I like my hair in that sort of mussy style. I don't like a real sleek look. I'm trying to remember, I can't recall what that term is that Mark mentioned, who's this fabulous stylist out of Amsterdam. He was giving these tutorials and we were watching, but he says you find there's 2 types of women, and women that love their hair to have that sleek sheen to it, or women that like that roughed up look. Well, I like the roughed up look.
Next time we see you, you're going to have a different cut.
Probably not too different. I'm not shortening it much by just taking off all the dead ends, but I'll have more layers because this is that style. I love this style of layers. It's going to be a shaggier look to it, but I want to be able to pull it back and so on because that's what I do.
I think you should post a picture of you when you colored your hair versus now.
We're doing a lot. You're giving me a lot to do. Right now, I still think we're playing to crickets, but eventually we'll have an audience. The longer, if you're going through this transition and you reach a plateau with it and you are reconsidering it, and obviously you want to feel good about yourself. There's no question, but I can assure you that it's like anything, you get used to it. You start to own it. You see it every day and you say, and then you look at old pictures and you go, wow, I really like this. I get more compliments on my hair now than I've ever gotten in my younger years.
I love it on you. And I've always told you, I love it on you.
Thank you. Thank you. And as
And
I
you
said,
seem free from your hair. You seem lightened
I
by
am. I feel liberated from it.
it.
I'm liberated. I feel like don't care what people think. I don't feel old. I feel bold.
Yeah.
That's that. So, anything else, Jules, you wanted to add?
No, I think we should talk about what we're
Next week's
next week,
subject.
and let's end with a nice.
And we have a wonderful quote that we think is very apropos with this discussion, aging into yourself. We have two subjects we're flirting with. One is talk about our skin, a little bit about wrinkles, maybe what we do, how we feel. The other subject might be just about birthdays and how magical these birthdays are. I pulled a quote from Mary Oliver, and actually it's from her essays, from her book Upstream. Beauty has its purposes, which all our lives and at every season, it is our opportunity and our joy to divine. And the questions and the striving towards answers come from within. I love that. And I just think what that says about aging pretty much sizes it up, because as you age, you become familiar with who you are. You either are going to like who you are and what you're growing into, or you're going to try to deny that. And I just don't think you're doing yourself a service if you deny it. You should engage with yourself. It's called self-love. It's called self-care, because if you feel good about who you are, you can share that with the world and make the world feel better, don't you think?
I do. I think a lot of wasted energy denying something that is.
Yeah. Oh, it can be so exhausting fighting nature. So exhausting. It's too exhausting to fight nature. Why edit yourself on the outside? Edit yourself on the inside.
And we'll figure the workarounds for the outside.
Yes. We'll adapt. Well, so Julie, so cheers to you, to best friends.
Yeah.
Love
Cheers.
you. And
time.